Hey guys, good evening. Good evening. I am your host, Jackie O. And tonight is Motivational Monday with who again? Me, your girl, Jackie O. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Motivational Monday. Y'all, we have a special treat in store for you on tonight. We have Aneechia Dixon, otherwise known as Niecy. Hey, Niecy, welcome to Motivational Monday.
Hey, Jackie.
Hey, hey. I'm so glad that you can hop on with us. And so I'm going to get us shared on a couple of our pages. And let me see. Okay, got us all shared here. And we are ready to go. Y'all know how we do it on tonight. We are all about the action. Here at Motivational Monday, we like to provide you with resources and information that you can use. And so when you are finished with watching one of our segments, you are called to what? Action. That means you need to do what? Y'all know, get off your tush and put some action to it. So tonight we are talking to Niecy. We are going to be talking about teen dating violence. We're going to be talking about her mentorship program and just getting to know her, just having a candid conversation. So Niecy, again, thank you for being on, and let's have you introduce yourself.
Thank you. First off, thank you, Jackie, for having me. Guys, I've known Jackie for a long time. I met when the young ladies were more like young girls. So thank you so much for having me. Like she said, I'm Aneechia Dixon Amos. I am the founder and director of This Girl Is. We are an organization. We are designed definitely for your teen daughters, your teenagers, your girls, your babies that are becoming young women. We focus on mentor training. We have a heavy focus on teen dating violence awareness and all the things that come with that, which involves the self-esteem and just healthy relationships. So I look so forward to talking to you guys tonight again about my baby, which is This Girl Is. We've been around for a long time, and we're just growing by leaps and bounds, going in different directions, adding the things that we see that our girls, our teenagers, our young ladies are needing more and more each day. So thank you again.
Oh, you're so welcome. And y'all listen, our co-host just popped in. Look at her. Y'all, this is technology for you, right? You can just like pop in, pop out. So yeah, we have our lovely co-host on here, Ashley Bren. Hey, Ashley Bren, do you want to say something? She says no, not really. You're on mute, honey.
I apologize for the delay. I have some technical difficulties, but I am here.
She is here with her red lipstick on, y'all. She is ready to go.
Me too, Ashley. I did.
Yes, honey. I should have got some red lipstick tonight. So again, yes, Niecy and I have known her for a long time. And so I do know that she is very passionate about our teens and working with our young girls and, just helping them to know their worth. And I mean, she does a lot of work with our teens. And so we are really excited to talk to her tonight, especially on the topic of teen dating violence, which she is heavily in. And I want to jump right into that with us talking about that tonight. And so we know, Niecy, that there are four types. There are four types of the teen dating violence. We have the sexual, the physical, the stalking, and the psychological. Can you please tell us a little bit about each one of those types?
Oh my gosh. Before I start, I always like to tell people who have a hard time understanding that teen dating violence actually exists. It's also known as teen domestic violence. So if you can think of an actual adult in domestic violence situations, take it to the same level as teenagers, because yes, it can get to that level. Stalking is the same, whereas you may think that how can a teenager be stalked? Well, it may not be someone sitting outside your house, which it can be, but you can be stalked in places like school, you're supposed to be in class. This person may not even go to your school, but yet they're always there. They're always watching your every move. You could be practicing or whatever. They just seem to be there and they know what you're doing. And that includes work, psychological. Oh my gosh. We already know that teenagers, they can be heavily influenced, easily influenced. So think about this controlling individual just getting in their heads, making them question their self-worth, just question their looks, just question their friends, their family, question everything about them. It's amazing, but not in a positive way. But you see it happen with adults, so it can certainly happen with a younger, still developing mind. What was the next two, Jacquie? I'm sorry.
Oh no, yes, girl, you are, because you know what, you're giving us some good information and description so that people will know that it is happening to a teen, but it's the same thing that would happen to an adult. It's
Yes.
just the teens. And the other two was sexual and physical.
Oh man. Okay. We'll start with the physical because again, it's one of those situations where you're like, wait, how could this possibly happen? Or as an adult or parent, you would think, how would I not know this is happening?
Mm-hmm.
But if you have someone, especially our girls, when they get to a certain age, we know they no longer want to be our friends and they no longer want to hang out with us. So I can be in my room as a young girl and you would think I'm just being temperamental or just don't want to be bothered, when in actuality, I could be hiding something such as physical abuse. Or let's go back to the psychological. I could have someone literally checking my every move. So now I've disassociated or disengaged from my family. And sexual is the same thing. Here it is that we know no means no, but then here comes well, if you love me or, everybody else, and then it becomes a pressure. And then when the no becomes you're going to, in a forceful way, then now we've reached into a whole different level. And the thing is, because of I'm in a relationship with you, I don't feel comfortable telling, I don't feel safe, and I don't want to hurt you. I love you. So of course, I'm not going to tell anybody that you physically had me do something that I either didn't want to do, wasn't ready to do, just blatantly said no. But because you gave me a yes for my no, now we've reached a whole nother era.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a thing. And it's so much of a thing. And I call it a thing, not because I want to downgrade it, because people need to understand that this is real life. It happens. I've talked to parents, I've talked to kids, I've talked to educators. This is a thing that is really happening. And here's the kicker that most people don't understand about when it comes to teen dating violence. Statistics show it can start as early as 12 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. When I say that, people are like, what? Yeah, at 12, you're still what, you don't even wear deodorant probably. But yes, it can happen as early as 12 years old. So imagine your baby having to leave your house of comfort, going to, again, school or whatever after school activities, and having to deal with someone who's basically trying to control them. And this is your child. You can't control my child. I can barely control my child. And here it is that you have put yourself in a position that you are just controlling everything about him. And you're okay with that.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a lot of wows. It's a lot of wows. It definitely is a lot of wows.
Brenda.
Jacquie, your mouth is open.
Because, when you said that, and I'm just thinking at 12, so I was thinking about like my two daughters, like you've met them. So Maya now is 14. And so I'm just thinking in my mind, trying to wrap my mind around my 14-year-old going through something like that. I mean, it's just like mind-boggling.
It really is.
Go through that.
It really is. And a lot of times, at no fault of our own, we as parents, we miss the signs. We miss it because, again, as they're doing that change and we're going from 13, 14, 15, we're moving into this land of I want to be an adult or I am an adult, we miss it. And one of the things I always notice, which generally happens, which is the same with adults, is isolation. You just say you and Maya are close, and she's had the same friend for the last 10 years. They grew up in
Right.
Pampers. And then all of a sudden, that's not my friend anymore. And you're like, why?
Right.
There's no reason, there's no explanation. She didn't do anything, but you have this person trying to isolate her from anyone that could come in and take their place. And I'll use him, but it goes both ways, guys. I don't ever want you to think it's one-sided. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
But you have this person coming in. I can't isolate you from your family, but all friends, bets are off. No girls, no guys, all bets are off. So it happens. And as I said, we miss it, but not because we're not paying attention. It's just we're not looking for that. We're not looking for that.
Yeah, because that's the last thing that you would think that is happening in your home. Even as an adult, that's just kind of the last thing. But because we're talking about teens tonight, that's the last thing that you would even fathom is happening or going on.
Yeah. And
Wow.
it's just like, again, it's something that can cause shame. So of course we're going to hide it.
Right.
Most of them are not going to feel comfortable coming out saying, but now again, we do have those little strong girls that will come out and say, hey, he did this, or I'm not comfortable with this. And that's when our parents get involved. But what I've also noticed is that it's usually a trend or something that's happened on both sides. Your abusers come from some sort of abuse, and your ones that have been abused, generally, not always, but they've seen it or they've experienced it with someone. I get a lot of women who love that I talk about this subject because they went through it as teenagers and they didn't have an avenue or they didn't understand. So now I'm able to help them. They're able to help their daughters, and we're able to break the cycle.
Mm-hmm. And that's good that you said that, because when you said about we really don't know, when we were coming up, first of all, parenting is trial and error. There's no manual that tells us like X, Y, and Z at this time, right? And so when these things probably happen, say to the parent of the child, they really didn't know how to handle it because the resources may not have been there. They may not have had a trusted confidant that they can, go tell. Why? Because even if they were to tell, who would believe a kid? You know what I'm saying? So they really didn't have that. And as I was looking up statistics, one of the statistics said that teens who suffer dating abuse, they are subject to long-term consequences, just as you just stated, like alcoholism, eating disorders, promiscuity, thoughts of suicide, and violent behavior. So they've experienced that. So now they're carrying that on into their adult life.
Yes, absolutely. And it goes almost to the point of hurting people hurt people. So if I've been hurt, I don't know what avenue, what outlet these young girls are going to take, or young men. I don't know what they're going to do. So again, it's up to us to try to break the cycle, just try to get them the help that we need. If you notice signs of depression or things like that, let's tackle it head on. Don't just say, oh, she's being, a teenager. Oh, she's being a girl, whatever type of label or statistics. Let's not do that. Let's ask the questions. And a lot of times we as parents, we have to ask the hard questions and not just be okay with what, oh, I'm fine, because sometimes fine is not fine. And I would never want to be in a situation where I'm getting a phone call and I hear sobbing going, well, she said she was fine. She said she was okay. And she's in the hospital. And here's the thing too, that a lot of our parents of our older girls, they don't realize it, unfortunately, until they get a call and their daughter has gone away to school. They've gotten a call that now she's hurt. She's in the hospital because, again, this has been going on for so long and it's escalated because now our young babies are going to school, mostly our freshmen in college. And now they're not under your roof. So things can still happen. So again, we have to have the conversations no matter the age, especially when our babies are getting ready to go off to college.
I think too, also, I think you should have the conversation when you see the first interest in the opposite sex.
Yes.
Because, and once you see that there's an interest to where you notice, they're looking a little harder than normal, and oh, he's cute, and this person, blah, blah, blah. So even if they are 10 and 11, once you see that there's a curiosity there, I think that's when that conversation should start, because now you have to tell them what's normal before anything ever happens. Okay, this is not someone to speak to like this. It's not normal for someone to say these types of things to you, and give them examples of healthy relationships. So when something does happen, it's just like, mommy, you remember we talked about, or you remember this happened? Well, this is not, like what we talked about. So I think as soon as that interest is there, regardless of how old, because nowadays things are starting so much sooner. And the TVs are introducing them to relationships. If you watch Nickelodeon and Disney, they're showing the girls interested in the boys and vice versa, but they're still very young.
Yes.
So once they've been exposed, you have to have that conversation, regardless of, you really can't put an age on it.
I'm glad you said that too, Ashley, because growing up, we were always taught, if a boy likes you, they exhibit certain behavior. Well, I will tell a child quickly, a boy hitting you does not mean he likes you. That means he hits you, and now we need to address the hitting. That is not a form of like, love, attraction, or any of that. And we have to, get out of the habit of telling our kids at a young age something that's not normal or natural, or that could be deemed toxic, and they should just accept it, because that's not right.
He pulls your ponytail. That just means he likes you. No, he's not.
No, he pulls my ponytail. No.
Because so that sounds like that's some form of abuse, even as, early as elementary school. You're on the playground, they're running, hitting you. And like you said, it was said that, oh, they like you, but that's really a form of possibly early abuse early on. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't ever want you to get comfortable hitting me because you like me. Let's just think about that for a second.
Yeah.
You tug at me, or you hit me, or you treat me in a negative way because you like me. Don't like me. I'm good with that.
Yeah. Yes. Please don't like me.
Please. Please
do us both a favor and not like me.
I know, right? All right. Oh my goodness. Wow. And to even go back with that, so because some of this stuff, Niecy, I did not know. So, I was doing my research because I was like, oh my goodness, this is like craziness. But I went to the National Conference of State Legislators website. And I also put a lot of these resources, guys, in the description. So you can go back and see these resources. But that particular one, only 13 states recognize teen dating violence as domestic violence. That says a lot, that only 13 states recognize that. And so that means that they do not consider adolescents, teens, or it says 20-somethings. Those people cannot apply for a restraining order for protection if those states do not recognize teen dating violence. That's pretty serious to me.
See, I had to take a deep breath. I was like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah. So, to me, if I were to see something like that, I think, and Bren and I were talking about this earlier today, of why maybe these kids do not report it. Because, number one, as you stated earlier, there's shame, because it could be a family member,
Mhm.
Let me tell you this. I was listening to this earlier today. My daughter listens to Stormy. Oh my goodness, I can't think of her last name, but she's like this motivational speaker, and she also sells that tea, the NutriBurst or something like that she sells. And so she's like really high up there. So I was listening to something she was saying today, and she talked about kids going to visit their friends, sleepovers. My daughters never did sleepovers. If it wasn't their aunties and their grandmother, you're not going to nobody's house. I'm going to tell
No,
you. Now,
no.
y'all, they can come to our house because I know
Yeah.
how our house is ran, but
Yeah.
you're not going to spend the night at nobody's house. So don't ask. Okay,
No.
because every time you ask is no. But one thing that she said was that she kept asking her mom to go to her friend's house. And she was going to this friend's house on a regular basis. Not Her mom never knew that the dad was at night touching her. She didn't say anything because who would believe this little girl? And I was like, wow, so here you have this child that is trying to already process growing up, all these emotions, all this stuff that's going on. And now you have this added thing that's going on with this abuse that they're going through. And so I think that with that being said, and just like I said, there's only 13 states that recognize this. Do you think that that could be a reason why these kids do not report it? Because let me tell you, if my kids tell me, honey, it's going to be on and popping. Okay, earrings coming, and the earrings might not even come off, girl. They might still be on, and hey, we just gonna have to go at it, and y'all just gonna have to put
Tables
it in jail.
turning.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that is part of the reason, because you're telling me, you're basically letting me know that my voice doesn't matter.
Exactly.
My feelings doesn't matter. I don't feel protected. And that's one of the worst feelings in the world, as a child, not to feel protected, not just by parents, but just by society, my state.
Right.
Doesn't feel like what happened to me is important. So it's one of those things where we as community, as parents, we have to get involved again with our legislation, get the word out, because they don't recognize it because they don't believe it's true. But I guarantee you, if you Google child or teenager attacked, or better yet, worse, murdered by boyfriend, girlfriend, you're going to get something. You're going to get tons of something. You're going to get something in your city, your state. You're going to get something this week, next week, and last week. So I think because we've chosen to turn and act like it's not, they have other issues. They just need to be kids. Well, they can't be kids when they're dealing with adult issues.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And now it kind of makes it worse because we have social media that they can be having conversations that's introducing ideas and things of that nature, and so they are gradually seduced into, other things that they probably would have never even thought of.
Yeah.
But because there's social media, you have Google, put in words and things accidentally pop up. So now if you have an adult and they're approached by the adult, or they're approached by a teenager or somebody that's older that they consider to be the cool person, so now they have another situation on their hand. They've been introduced to something, and now they have somebody that's telling them that it's good, and then so now it's like you have all of that just in one big like gumbo almost. So you have that, not to mention gaslighting and all of that. So when you combine all of that, and then you have all of those things that don't necessarily have to happen in person, but now can happen via social media, I, as a grown woman, you can have certain people slip into your DMs, and you're like, oh my gosh, did they just say this to me? And God forbid you have your location turned on and people can see where you're at. And so if you have a child where this adult is saying, or this other person saying, well, I know you live and blah, 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 and then anything, but yet they still log back on, because now that curiosity has been piqued.
The curiosity. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm glad you said that about social media, because I think that is very important, us as parents, to be paying attention to our children's social media. Because let me tell you, there's nothing private in this house. I'm
Nothing.
going to go through your stuff.
Jacquie, do the face one more time.
Go
One more
through
time.
your stuff. Okay. Because let me tell you, like you just said, Bren, there is so much that is going on in social media. And I mean, you have TikTok, Snapchat, like all of this stuff is going on with our kids. And it's easy for that to be hidden in there. So if you do not pay attention, you know, and I tell parents too, I don't know a lot about the teen violence like you, Niecy, but I do tell parents, listen, especially if they tell me that they're not on any type of social media, they don't know this or that. I'm like, honey, you need to figure it out. You need to be on social media. You need to listen to the songs. Now, some of the songs, honey, I don't listen to that rap stuff, I'm gonna tell you. But some of it, I listen to it because I need to know the lyrics and what the kids is listening to.
Let me tell you something. They call me the research queen. Okay. I research everything. No, I may not drive down the street listening to whatever and up and down, whatever, but I need to know what it's saying, because if these kids are doing it, I need to do it. I got one better for you, Jacquie. I was doing a parent forum and the kids were in front, the parents were in back, because I like to keep, you know, give that safe space. And I told the kids, now I had all these parents, my kids don't do social media. Okay. Had the kids, if you have 3 or more, blink. If you have 4 or more, blink. And I mean, you would think something was in their eye, they were blinking so much, but my parents are in the back thinking, oh, my kid doesn't do social media. But here's the tip. I always tell, if your child has it and you can't quite get to it, go check their friend. All of them have one friend who has everything open and public and will tell everything. Why check your friends? Your friends will spill the beans, tell your whole life, and have you punished for a month. Get new friends.
For a month, a year.
Yes. Yes.
That is, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, y'all. Oh my goodness, it is 7:30. Where has time gone? Where has time gone? Wow, this has been so good. And Niecy, we're definitely gonna probably have to have you come back and do like a part 2, because there's just so much information on this particular topic. And as you said earlier, we choose to turn. And this is one of those topics that's like taboo. You do not talk about domestic violence. You don't talk about teen violence. You do not talk about that. You know, it's kind of like swept under the rug. But these are things that need to be brought out to the forefront, because our kids are dealing, like you said, with grown people situations. And they're kids. You know, I don't care if they're 17, they're still, their brains are not fully developed. So they are kids.
They are not. And I knew it was a bigger issue when the month of February is, you guys do know the month of February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. We have a month. It's the shortest month. We have a month and a color. So it's something we're gauging attention. We're just not there yet. 13 states is not there yet.
No. And we need to have more than a month.
Yeah.
You know, just like Black History, but I'm not going to go down there. But
do it.
I'm not going to do it. Not tonight, because that's not the topic tonight. But we need more than a month to bring awareness. Yeah, that month is set aside, but you know, this needs to be a topic that we need to keep to the forefront. And so, Niecy, with you out in the forefront, being the advocate for our children, that is amazing. And I want to talk a little bit before we wrap this up. Tell us, do you have mentors? Do you have people that work with you, with your movement, your organization? How does that work? Tell us how to get in contact with you, you know, if a parent or a teen that needs to get in contact with you. And y'all, I'm telling you, she's trusted. You know, you can trust her. I'm not going to tell you something that I don't know. Okay, go ahead, Niecy.
Okay. I always say the best way, especially if you're on social media, you know, hashtags are the thing. If you hashtag this girl is on anything, you will come straight to me. And I have it going straight to me because you need a safe space. Now, if there's something else that you need, I have resources, but I have things coming straight to me just for privacy and safety, and to kind of let you know that this is safe. There's no shame here. There's no shame. Um, as far as a team and mentors, what I've actually started to do, Jackie, is it's our new venture. It's mentor training, because we have a lot of people that want to do it, but just don't know how to get started. And I love to say everybody willing is not quite able or qualified. So we offer mental training now for those that want to do it and do it well, have the resources, because I'm also a trained domestic violence, sexual assault advocate as well. So I've done the training, I've sat hands-on, I've had to get down and dirty. So I can't tell you what I heard, I can teach you what I know via experience. So that's one of the things that we're doing now. We're training others so that they can be equipped. Because if someone calls you in the middle of the night, you need to know what to say and not be like, let me call you back. Let me Google an answer for you real quick. So, because it could be a situation where it's dire and I need you to help me now. So if you look up "This Girl Is" anywhere, you will find me. Or Aneechia, but I would have to spell that and you guys would be like, what? But I am all across the board, and I'm very open to talking to parents, organizations, the teenagers. They gotta have that safe space. And I love that I've become that for so many.
Yes, yes, I love that too, because we need it. Our kids need it. So yeah, absolutely. And give us your last words that you would like to leave with our audience.
I want to say this, especially to parents who feel like you may have been in the situation or missed the mark or anything. Give yourself grace. Like Jackie said, parenting does not come with a handbook. We're not perfect. Give yourself grace and just know that you can always start again, not start over, because that means you've stopped and given up, but you can start again and again. And as many times as you need to do, you can start again. Just give yourself grace in this thing called parenting in life. And trust me, it'll work out.
Yeah,
Right.
I love it.
Right.
I love it. Give yourself some grace. Ashley, Brand, what about you? Do you have some closing remarks?
I would just piggyback on what she said. I think especially, not saying that the mothers of boys don't have just as many issues or things going on, but I do want to talk to the mothers of daughters, because it's just a whole nother gambit, I guess you could say, when you're dealing with emotions. And sometimes, even us as women, it's hard to read our emotions as grown women. So when you're dealing with teenagers, to give yourself that grace. They have so many hormones and thoughts and feelings and all of these types of things. And sometimes it can feel intimidating. And sometimes it's just like, well, gosh, I wish I had said this. I wish I had did that. But as Aneechia said, I really have to give ourselves grace, and I know I pray for wisdom every morning, because I know that's the only way I'm going to make it, but that grace that is a powerful word. And I really think all of us as parents should give ourselves as much grace as possible. It does not mean, you just sleep and just say, oh, let me give myself some grace, but you give yourself some grace, because it's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I know we did say that this does happen to boys as well. I know we kept
Right.
referencing girls. And as Brenda was saying, the girls, that's just a whole nother thing with the girls. And my takeaways is that we should pay attention, to our children and their behaviors, and not just
Right.
dismiss their isolation or dismiss them doing something differently because, oh, it's just their hormones. And so that was a very good point. And then having an open door. I know a lot of times everybody's home is different and everyone's dynamics are different. However, if you can have an open door with your children, with your teens, that is so important. I know, like with my girls, I have an open door. You can come and you can tell me anything. I don't care how hard it is, whatever. If you I don't care what it is, you know, you can come talk to me. And I have been blessed that my daughters, they do that. They'll come lay in my bed, the foot of my bed, or come, you know, just lay and whatever and be like, Mom, you know, X, Y, and Z, you know, X, Y, and Z. So I think that's important too, that we are able for our children to come to us and for them to talk to us. But if they cannot come and talk to us, then we need people like Aneechia's that are there on the front line, that where our children can trust them and talk to them about what's going on. So I really enjoyed this segment on tonight. Again, Niecy, thank you so much for being here with us on tonight. We are going to have to do like a repeat. And the next time it's going to have to be like some type of workshop or something. You know, my mind is going. So that we can really get to the meat of it and really talk about it with the parents, with leaders, youth leaders, church leaders, whatever. Talk about it, because it is not talked about like it should be. So guys, in our description, we do have some resources that we have listed with some phone numbers and some websites. So please make sure that you pass that along. If you're not watching us live, or if you are, please share this information to your pages. Watch the replay, pass it along to people, because what we learned tonight and what was talked about tonight was very, very good information. And so we want to make sure that we can reach as many people as possible. So y'all heard Niecy, y'all can reach her. The name of her organization is called This Girl Is.
Right.
That means this girl is all of that in a bag of chips. Yes, she is, with her red lipstick on. So y'all, make sure you get in touch with her. She's on social media. She's on Facebook. She's on Instagram. This Girl Is. Reach out to Niecy. And we will be here next week, Monday, the 24th. We have a special treat for y'all. Oh, and we also have a special treat on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, guys, I hope you can tune in. This is going to be a special show. We normally don't have shows on Tuesday nights, but we have Major Tiffany Winston. She's going to be joining us from Germany. She is an emergency medicine physician in the United States Air Force. So she's going to be joining us, and we were trying to accommodate her schedule. So I'm super excited to be chatting with her on tomorrow, and we're just going to be having a conversation with her. I think it's going to be like 2 a.m. or something like that for her. And she'll be at work. So we'll be just kind of having a conversation with her about being a mom of 3 boys, a wife. She's been traveling all over Korea, Germany. I mean, she's been doing it. So we want to talk to her. So we hope you guys can tune in and let's support her and show her that we love her for serving our country as well. But until then, we will see you on tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, same stations, same page, you know, we'll be here. And then we'll see you on Monday the 24th. All right. We hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week, and God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.